Hi, tribe. I hope you can see and hear me. Um, I actually just sat here and did all of these questions and I wasn't on live. So, anyway, I'm here now and I'll re answer them. I'm Shelley Merrell. I own a fire protection company in Ventura, California. I've been in the industry since 1989 and just struggling away with the rest of you. So my first question is from our the one and only Sean Thomas. He said, without a team to delegate to and without a budget to hire a full team, how did you get things done when you first started your company and it was just you? The background is I hear many experienced entrepreneurs talk about delegating and only doing the things you're great at, and unfortunately, it's only me. Am I and I'm just starting. So I don't have the team nor the money to hire a full team. I know I can't be alone in trying to understand how to get everything done on a limited budget and it only being me. How did you do it when you were first starting? Is it just mindset or where did you go learn everything to get everything done? Looking for your story. Thanks so much. Well, um, first of all, if I was in that situation, I would definitely recommend looking into the virtual assistants that you can send certain projects out to and get stuff done at a really cheap rate. Um, as long as you're the only one doing everything, it's going to continue being that way. So at some point, you'll get your processes put into place and then can start delegating stuff. But in the meantime, if somebody is feeling just way too stressed and way too overwhelmed, there is probably something that can be delegated to a virtual assistant, like through Upwork or Fiverr. I'm currently using somebody through Upwork on a project too. And so that's one way that you might be able to work around not having to have them on your payroll, but yet paying a cheap rate. Um, my story is that I began working for my previous boss right out of high school in 1989. He was very small, and so I was the only person in the office, and I did all of the administrative work. I had his bookkeeper taught me some of the stuff I needed to know, but basically, I figured the rest of it out. If somebody sent me something that I didn't understand, I would pick up the phone and call them and ask about it and get the information, and that seemed to work very, very, very well. Um, it actually put us into a position where we were doing work that other people wouldn't do, kind of like our motto, most won't, I will. And that's how I kept growing. Um, because it was such a small company, I kind of grew with it and I winged everything. Um, right down to I remember when we had a computer and I wouldn't even turn it on because I did everything by hand. I had to be forced to turn on a computer and learn it. And now I don't know what I would do without it, but um it's hard. It's a struggle. It's definitely time consuming to be an entrepreneur. But if you can find one or two at least small tasks that are easily explained and get a virtual assistant doing those for you, you'll have that kind of time available and won't feel so stressed. So hopefully that helps. And that was my story in a nutshell. I I worked for my boss for, I don't know, it was like 17 years, and then I took over in 2005. So I technically didn't start this business. However, I was there at the beginning. So go figure. I just figured it out on the way. Okay, our next question is from Alyssa Tambazi. I hope I said that right. Sorry, Alyssa, if I didn't. I want to start an organizing business, and I'm not sure if I should start from scratch and create a new LLC, use my old one and recreate it, or start with trial clients before I do anything. The business description and background. Hi, Nick. Hi, Kimberly. Sorry. I currently have a consulting business that hasn't taken off, and I'm not sure that is where my passion lies right now. I realized one of my main passions in life is organizing, and I feel I would be much more successful doing that for people as I've already done in the past. I feel that I could market to my existing PT clients and friends for now and see where that takes me. I already have one client I do this for, and I get compliments often on how organized I am and my life is. Cool. I have a ton of stuff I can have you organize if you ever need work. One question I have, Alyssa, is are you talking about organizing calendars, folders, people, closets? Like, I'm not sure what kind of organizing you want to do. But if I were you, looking at this situation, if I had a business that I really wasn't that into and hadn't really taken off yet, I wouldn't bother putting any more time and energy into it. If it were me, I would create a new LLC just because it's good to have that separation there. Get your banking in order with that new LLC and do what you love. If you love organizing, do it. You know, the more you love something, the more likely you are to be successful at it. Um, and I think you're the same Alyssa I've met before, and you're too young to settle. If you're the same person I met before, um, don't settle. Go shoot for your dreams. You know, go big. You already have one client. And if you're spending your time and energy on the business that you love, you may end up having tons of clients before you know it. So I wish you the best, and that's all I can really say. So I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, our next question is Roland Bernath. Sorry if I mispronounced. How to make employees accept each other and make a team. Background. In our family business, retail and wholesale shop, there are 10 females working together on the floor. They do everything from receiving the products, stocking them on shelves, dealing with in store customers, then at the cashier, sell the product. They rotate between tasks. There are 4 of them that work together as a team, great, but they also form a clique, thus, don't accept other people working with them. This puts me in a very hard position to hire new people because eventually they will not feel welcome and part of a team. I need help with strategy and communication. One of the employees, one of the 4, is the head of the shop. Um, I've been in this situation before and it's definitely not fun. Um, it's funny because what I've always seen in my industry is it's not the women that are cliquey, it's the men that are cliquey among service technicians. So that's kind of interesting. Anytime you have a group of mean girls, it's going to be a problem. And if this one is the leader of the shop, I personally feel it should be her responsibility to be a better leader and not be a part of a cliquey group, and to also dissuade that kind of behavior. Um, maybe she could go to leadership classes or management classes. I'm not sure how the other 3 will take that, but um, anytime you have a clique like that, it can become a very toxic work environment and stop you from moving forward. So if you really want to keep these four on, I if I wanted to keep these four on, I would be focused on the one that could be the leader of the others and develop those leadership skills there. And it also goes back to culture. um, Sean and all the tribe, all the mentors and tribe members talk about company culture. That will go back to what you accept and create. So maybe take a look at the company culture and see if some adjustments need to be handled there. There's several books on company culture, corporate culture, and that should really help a lot. So hopefully that helps. Sorry. Good luck with that though. Lindsay Lannon, what are the best credit cards to get for a business bank account? I own a chocolates company and want to know more about setting up an account for my business. There are lots of options, and I was curious as to what is the best path to take. Her elevator pitch is I sell chocolates with ingredients collected from direct trade farms in sustainably sourced packaging. Sorry. Um, I can tell you what I do. I have Capital One. And I don't know if they are absolutely the best or not. I never have a problem with them. Anytime I've had to get a refund or whatever, it's never been an issue. But also, they have rewards points. And so I have actually paid for a lot of office equipment, office supplies and stuff. PayPal will let you pay with your Capital One's rewards points. So, for instance, when the pandemic first hit and people weren't sending in their payments to us, our cash flow slowed down. And I was able to pay for a lot of stuff with my rewards points through PayPal. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good answer or not, but that's my answer. Um, One thing I do want to say about business bank accounts, at a retreat just this last weekend, I was in on a conversation that had to do with not having all of your money at one bank. My generation or my parents' generation, they would get a bank or a credit union or whoever, and that ended up being their bank like for life. Like it was all about loyalty. That's not how it is these days. And so, by not having all of your money in one basket, if one bank gets in trouble or calls a loan or something like that, you have other options and protections in other places. Um, so I know that I'm going to be looking at um, getting an account like with a credit union and then also with a local small bank. The smaller banks have more flexibility of the things that they can do up and above what the top five, the big five, can do for people. So it's good to have your stuff spread around. And that was actually surprising to me to hear. I had not heard that before, and I'm glad I did hear it because it's important. So hopefully that helps you. Okay, Stephen Davis. What is your advice regarding how to handle prospects that are solely focused on price? The business description and background of question is SUD Consulting LLC specializes in human resources, workers' compensation, and financial issues that companies face. We represent multiple professional employment organizations. The reason I'm asking this question is that I am currently dealing with a prospect who is solely focused on price regardless of value. The prospect is a sizable company that has a great influence in their industry. Obviously, you can only reduce a price so far. but what is the best way to manage this situation? I do not want to lose a prospect and potential future referral business. Well, Stephen, yeah, we've been through this before too. Um, it it took me losing a lot of money to find out that sometimes it's better to not have those customers, those prospects, even that possible future referral business. Um, and we've often talked here in the tribe about firing your customers and all that. I mean, it serves no purpose if you're getting paid $1,000 if it costs you 1,001 to do that job. So if this company is going to possibly nickel and dime you, um, they might not be worth it. I mean, remember, there's 7 billion people in the world. So there's a lot of companies out there that need what you do. And if they don't see the value in it, it might not be the customer you want. With that being said, if you really want to keep that customer, then you would go to the bare minimum, but don't be losing money to make that money. There's no guarantee that there will be referrals from that business, so you got to watch out for yourself and your bottom line. That would be my recommendation. I mean, good luck with that, and keep me posted on what you end up doing. Eric Blandino. Should I be concerned if job applicants don't send a resume like I ask? Business description and background of question. We trap and seal out rats from homes with various techniques. We have plenty of business, but no boots on the ground to help grow. Because of the nature of our business, our technicians might not be the most savvy with building resumes. I am wondering if I should worry about them having a resume or maybe just letting them submit a job application. What are some things I can do to determine that I am getting the right type of applicant and I am putting forward the right type of process? Thanks so much. You have an elevator pitch too. So it's Rat Exclusion Service offers poison-free solutions to rat and mice problems. We figure out the entry points of rats and mice into your home or structure, seal them out, and guarantee our work for 2 years. So Eric, I'm familiar with you and your business. In this particular situation, when you're needing a service technician that doesn't require certain licensing, doesn't require being certified or any of that stuff, I don't see anything wrong with accepting a job application without a resume. My only recommendation would be is to always make sure and check those I just lost my word. Always check the references they give. As long as you can verify that they have 3 or 4 people that will stand up and say this is a person of good character, then it really doesn't matter. Now, if it was somebody to work in your office, I would recommend getting that resume so that you know that. You can also run like criminal background checks and stuff like that at a very minimal fee. We have to do that because we do work at schools. So by California state law, we have to have our technicians fingerprinted, and I have an FBI account with the DOJ. So it just kind of depends on your gut. You're very intuitive, and I think that during the interview process, you would get a sense of whether or not this person seems good or doesn't seem good. And of course, always check those references because that's really important. But to answer your question, I don't think giving a resume needs to be an absolute requirement. We all know that people lie not only on their applications but on their resumes too. So just check the background, the background, the references that they give you, and like the rest of us, we cross our fingers and hope we don't hire the wrong person. Okay. Christopher Joseph. Have you heard of Amway e-commerce businesses? If so, what are your experiences with them? And if I get in MLM, how should I determine if it's right for me? The business description and background of question. I was reached out to be a so-called millionaire through LinkedIn, and I believe he is trying to recruit me for this whole Amway partnership, where I would go through a vetting process, meet entrepreneurs, go to seminars, and then maybe get a partnership offer. The guy seems great. He graduated in engineering from the University of Calgary, which is what and where I am studying, created a multi-million-dollar engineering company, and wanted to stop trading time for money, went to e-commerce, met a guy who retired at 27, and created some Amway businesses. This seems to tick off most, if not all, of my red flags. Feels too good to be true. Why would a successful person want to fuck with me? He wouldn't. He got a little defensive when I brought up Amway pyramid schemes and such. I feel like he tried to play up my emotions a bit. He also really only spoke heavily about mentorship, not the actual business. Am I right in thinking this has bad written all over it? Or is this my poor mindset not accepting a good opportunity? He said it would take 5 years to build something worthwhile, and I'm pretty sure in 5 years my business would be generating good revenue. Do I try to leverage his knowledge and thoughts on e-commerce, or do I just say I'm not interested, sorry? Would welcome your thoughts. Seems like a different sort of guru approach, so to speak. Like less social media-y, more organic. The same promise of I was where you were, I made a business, I'll show you exactly how to do it and connect you with the right people, and you'll be retiring in 6 years. Any recommendations going forward and how to deal with him? Um, what I found in my life is that when your intuition speaks to you, it's for a reason. I have oftentimes not trusted my gut and ended up regretting it greatly. So I'm not familiar with Amway e-commerce businesses, so I can't really give any advice on that. I am familiar with Amway. I am familiar with the pyramid scheme. I can see why, if he's trying to sell you on a franchise or whatever type of thing it is, I can see why he would get defensive when you bring that up, especially if he's trying to sell that to you. However, he should expect it given their reputation. And what I've always been told is if it's too good to be true, it probably is. With that being said, that's really up to you. I don't know if he's asking you for an investment. Uh, what kind of money do you have to put up front? Because once they get your money, you're not getting it back, and I learned that the hard way too. So if it were me, I'd trust my gut. I wouldn't do it, but you'll have to make that decision on your own based on what you know about this person. Do research, Google him, find out as much as you possibly can. Shoot, I would even go so far as to hire a private investigator and do a background check. There's nothing wrong with that, and they're not that expensive. A couple, maybe $100, $200. But that could save you a lot of headache in the future and possible loss. So, I don't know. But keep me posted on that. I'd like to hear how this turns out for sure. Gabs. Hi, Gabs. Gabs asked, how do I keep track of what everyone else is doing in a growing team? Background. Not long ago, our company consisted of my parents and I, plus the secretary. We now have 3 full-time and 4 part-time employees doing packaging and admin, 3 to 5 contractors working on marketing, and many more in content production. Some work in our office, others are remote. One of the employees works as a manager of the admins and reports to me while I directly manage everyone who works on marketing. I'm getting very stressed because I feel I'm losing track of what everyone should be doing. When I finally sit down to do my own job, I'm worried that I've got all these guys on payroll and I'm not sure whether they're getting work done. How do I make sure my employees are productive and getting the right work done without micromanaging them and constantly looking over their shoulders? I've had this problem. I still have this problem. So I work with Joel Gandara. He is one of my mentors and coaches. And when I asked the same question to him, he shared with me that they had the same problem when they started out, and that Asana, ASANA, was able to completely take care of all of the communication issues that were happening. There's a few things you could do. Maybe, for instance, you keep track of what, like on an Excel spreadsheet, you keep track of what you delegate to a particular person and have a set time every week where you meet and you get an update on what they're doing, what they plan to do, kind of go over what's happened and what do you want to happen. If you could get that at least like maybe weekly, that would be a great way for you to be tracking them without having to track them every single day. Aside from Asana software, that's a software program, there's also Slack. I personally haven't had the time to play with either of them, which I've wanted to for a while, and I now have one of my admin people kind of digging into those. And I can let you know what I end up thinking about those. But in the meantime, I would say just a quick half-hour meeting to go over what was delegated, if it's done, the new stuff. That should help alleviate that time, hopefully, because it doesn't sound like you have that many people that a half-hour meeting would take a lot of time away from your other job. But it depends on how many people out of these marketing contractors. I mean, you've got 3 to 5 contractors, but how many different people are you working with within each of those? That would be a question that I have for you. And somehow you can get that streamlined down to a couple of meetings every week that gives you an update and lets you know if they're doing their jobs. Anyway, okay, I do not see that I have any questions in the comments. This is my first time checking the comments section here. So again, Nick and Kimberly, hi guys. I hope you all have a really wonderful Thanksgiving with your families. Thanksgiving 2020, we're almost through this year, so hopefully 2021 will be a better one. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great holiday and enjoy your families, and we will see you soon.